Well, hello and welcome to ILoveGay today. And we are in Denver, Colorado with personality drag queen Jessica Lahore. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing so wonderful. How are you?
Fantastic. I've been to Denver several times and but I know right now I'm glad I'm not there in January.
No, you don't want to be here right now. The negatives are awful. It's terrible to be outside right
How do you get yourself to your gigs?
now. Very carefully bundled up with just this much of my makeup showing, and then we power through the snow.
But I love everything I learned about you because like I was saying, I've been to Denver several times, so I know kind of some of the it's got such a great gay bar life and so forth and clubs and all that, but you've really established yourself well. I mean, you do bingo, you're known as the brunch bitch and so forth, but yeah, how'd you get started with all this?
I actually started at a city outside of Denver, Fort Collins, about an hour away, just kind of testing the waters out when I was discovering my queer journey. They have a big university drag show at Colorado State University, and I put my hat in the ring and I fell in love with it. And so getting out of Fort Collins into Denver, I think I had a mindset. I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset as a human that I was going to try to get into every little show, every little bar, every opportunity, whatever it was. And that grew and grew and grew. And I've been thankful to become a staple now.
Yeah, indeed you are. By the way, I love Fort Collins. It's actually one of my favorite like smaller cities in the country.
I say that too, and I try to describe it to people, and they don't get it. But it's more than just a college town. It's really really awesome. Fort
Yeah,
Collins as a whole.
I agree. I was winter time and I went to the hills that are above Fort Collins, did a great photo shoot up there. It was we didn't go there for a photo shoot. We just that was so beautiful. We just ended up taking these great photos in that, and that's it's so scenic up there.
That part people don't know until they get there that there's so much. It's beauty. It's truly beauty.
Yeah, that's a Colorado. You're in a great spot. And like I said, I don't think everybody always realizes like just how vibrant the city and the gay life and so forth. But also you've won Divas of the Entertainer of the Year and so forth. But you've been just like really knocking it out when it comes to getting yourself out there.
Yeah, I feel like each year I'm discovering a new opportunity. COVID, as many people, affected a lot of folks, and I took COVID as an opportunity to completely rebrand my business, to completely restructure how I wanted to present the services that I offer, and it took off. A lot of people struggled in COVID, and I did at the beginning, but I didn't sit in that. I found ways to blossom from that.
Yeah. Well, I think what's key and what I noticed, just I would just say from the outside looking in, you're very talented on not just social media, but just kind of this digital online marketing. You really keep your presence out there and you've got it spread out so nicely across, I don't care whether it's TikTok, Instagram, all of it.
Yeah. Uh, I've been in the business for 10 years. For 9 years, I did everything myself. I did all video editing. I did all like most of us do. We do everything. We do our own flyers. We do our own promotions. We do our own production, our own producing, our own outreach. And a year ago, I decided after saving and saving that I was going to invest in building a Lahore team, is what I call it. And I hired a publicist and a social media marketing manager and somebody to take their skill set and help enhance what I was doing so I could focus on other pieces of my business. And within a year now, it has been probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah. Well, it really shows through your YouTube channel too. I like the way you have that kind of broken down. But that's where I
Yeah.
was able to discover like you have Miss Jessica and you have Jess Talks, but like what's Miss Jessica?
Miss Jessica has always been around, but was really curated in 2018. I went to a school where I was invited to an elementary school, or excuse me, a middle school to do literacy day. They brought in different careers to talk about books, how education was important to how you chose your career path. And it blew up for all the wrong reasons. Drag queen enters school and terrorizes children and blah, 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 all the crap that we have to deal with today. It went international news. That's how crazy blown up it got. And I decided as part of a rebuttal that this is obviously a service that I'd like to provide more of, and I created Miss Jessica as a character. It's my all ages, family friendly caricature, where I can go into schools, drag story times. I do a lot of office and corporate events where they don't necessarily want the Lahore name or anything like that. And I completely change my language. I offer the service of, do you want G, PG, PG-13, R, X-rated, or completely adulterated, unfiltered bullshit? Like, what do you want is for the service that I provide. But that's where Miss Jessica was born.
Okay. Yeah, because then I was seeing with, you have Jess Talks and Queens Who Eat, but I saw that, I mean, you were really kind of testing out and really, and fleshing out these different programs, whether it was food, and with Jess Talks, it seems like you touch on everything.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about Jess Talks because I sit down with my team at the start of each month and say, these are things that people are requesting me to talk about, or that I'm just passionate to talk about in general. Like, here are my opinions, here are my thoughts, and here's a different perspective on it. I get a lot of crap because I've been told many times you will not have a successful one person podcast with no guests. And that kind of lit a fire under my butt to say, I'm going to do other outlets with guests, but I'm going to really keep Jess Talks for me. They're easy to record. You should know, of all people, like, getting with guests is difficult sometimes, scheduling and coordinating times. And I get to do this just for me. And it's really slowly taken off, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, because I know one of your underlying themes that I picked up on it was your sex positivity and body positivity. You really kind of touch on those and bring those to the forefront.
That's where Jessica Lahore started. I wanted to be a voice for folks that weren't comfortable in their skin or weren't comfortable talking about certain topics, and put a spin on it that made people feel like they could explore body positivity and sex positivity in a safe space, and hearing it spoken so proudly. And that's been curated over the years, that I'm very comfortable answering questions and talking about anything that has to do with those topics.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you've graduated up to,
I'm a professor now.
but I watched Pose on FX, and so I understand the concept of drag mother and so forth. And you're a drag mother too. You're helping others along the way.
Yeah, I've found that not only do I have my own drag kids, but I'm very proud to influence a lot of people when they with these messages that I get, where they're like, you said something and I haven't stopped putting it on repeat in my mind, and I have now become a more confident human. And ultimately, that's the goal, I think, for everyone, is to figure out themselves and live a little bit happier.
Yeah, especially in this day and age.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's the beginning of the year. Anything exciting on the horizon?
Oh man, things have already taken off in the first 2 weeks. I am a strong believer of waiting for things to happen naturally, or like in my gut. So it's been about 3 or 4 years since I've done major traveling, and I'm planning a 50-city tour this year. And that'll include my series of Ask a Queen a Question, performing at venues and bars, and I want to incorporate drag story time at each of these stops, which I'm really stoked about. But also, I hired a couple new members to my team, and we're just hustling. We're in this productive mindset for 2024. A lot of wonderful things on the horizon.
Yeah, well, I can't wait. I'm just outside of New York City, so if you come out this way, I'm going to pay attention to your schedule. I would love to see you in the real
Oh my
world.
God, please, please.
We would have way too much fun.
Yeah, we would.
But no, this is great, and really, I'm just glad that you're able to take a few moments of your time and kind of share a bit of your story with our audience here.
You providing the opportunity means a lot. I've been interested in reaching out to so many different outlets like your podcast, simply because that's how our voices travel. I can do all my podcast stuff as much as I want, and it hits certain audiences, but if I don't dive into queer things or business things or other topics that might not be in my realm, I'm not going to reach other folks to hear my voice. So
well said. Well, thanks again for being here, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much.
And it feels good, so good.